Hi, thank you for watching Tip of the Week. I'm Frank Brady. Today we're going to explore the third-party payer system's use of big data to support evidence-based medicine and value-based payment. The term evidence-based medicine sounds logical and very scientific until you consider that its use requires acceptance of transparently obvious statistical and logical fallacies. Let's begin at the very beginning. There is an inherent and irresolvable conflict between the care needs of the patient and the corporate financial goals of the third-party payer system. Each patient expects access to the diagnosis and treatment services needed to restore individual health to the most optimal level possible. In contrast, the third-party payer system's goal is to maintain the insured's population collective health at statistically acceptable levels while minimizing expense to the system. These objectives are mutually exclusive. Because they are in fundamental conflict, they cannot both be satisfied. Inasmuch as the current system is completely controlled by the third-party payer system, the system's statistical goals will always take precedence over the care needs of any individual patient. That's what value-based payment is all about. An effort to limit third-party payment to physicians and hospitals in its own financial interest by reintroducing a rebranded HMO product with a third-party payment system controlling patient care through the judicious application of evidence-based medicine. Let's begin by thinking about the number of known illnesses and injuries that can cause a patient to seek medical care. ICD-10 is the 10th revision of the International Statistical Classification of Diseases and Related Health Problems, a medical classification list developed by the World Health Organization. Claims for medical services submitted on or after October 1st, 2015 must be coded using ICD-10 or they will not be paid. ICD-10 use is a mandate that applies to all parties covered by HIPAA, not just providers who bill Medicare or Medicaid. Combination diagnosis and associated symptom codes have been created. Currently, there are 68,000 ICD-10 CM codes and 87,000 ICD-10 PCS codes. Those big numbers are just a portion of the data set that big data applies in evidence-based medicine's decision process to authorize or deny payment for treatment. The human being is a very complicated organism. The next slide contains a partial list of factors known to affect health status. In addition, there are doubtless other unknown factors. Consider what the size and structure of that list means for the validity of the third-party payment system's effort to substitute evidence-based medicine for professional judgment in the treatment of thousands of officially recognized diseases and related health problems. On the left side of this slide is a partial list of factors known to affect human health. How many possible combinations and permutations of combinations of these factors exist in the human population? In how many known and unknown ways do these factors interact with each other during simultaneous adverse health events that may be caused by one or more of the officially recognized diseases and related health problems? How many potentially synergistic interactions are fully understood and adequately documented in the evidence-based medicine database? The odds are great that the evidence-based medicine database doesn't have complete data even for the patient seeking care, and it certainly doesn't have treatment outcome data for all of the patients that share a specific patient's age, ethnicity, health history, and all other factors. In a patient-centered system, physicians were taught to treat the patient, not the lab test. Dr. Paget's quote demonstrates why that dictum remains important and highlights the flaw in applying data-driven evidence in determining the course of care for any patient. In Dr. Paget's words, A diagnosis is based on the strength of various clinical findings, some supporting the diagnosis and some ruling against the diagnosis. Each one of these clinical facts has a certain power and can move the diagnosis even when laboratory tests are completely normal. Let's talk a bit about the data. Statistics are derived from the data. Descriptive statistics are applied to populations. Properties of populations, like the mean or standard deviation, are called parameters, as they represent the whole population. Here's a vitally important fact, one that dooms evidence-based medicine when applied to an individual patient. Descriptive statistics only allow summations about populations actually measured. These summary data cannot be applied predictively to individual members of that population. Evidence-based medicine requires that this statistical rule be ignored. No matter how much sophistry they apply to justify it, proponents of evidence-based medicine are guilty of two basic logical fallacies. The first is the fallacy of illicit transference. This occurs when an argument assumes that there is no difference between a term in the distributive sense, referring to every member of a class, and the collective sense, referring to the class itself as a whole. The second is the fallacy of division. This fallacy is committed when the conclusion of an argument depends on the erroneous transference of an attribute from a whole or class into its parts or members. Finally, it's worth wondering what will be the effect of evidence-based medicine on medical progress going forward. Here is a partial short list of accidental medical discoveries that might not have occurred had prior evidence of their utility been required before they were used. That concludes today's tip of the week. We hope you found it to be useful. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.